Welcoming you here to Reser Stadium following Oregon State's first scrimmage of fall camp. Publisher Brenden here for BeaversEdge.com, joined as always by BeaversEdge senior writer Ryan Harlan. We just wrapped up the first scrimmage of fall camp. We're officially 2 weeks into the action, Ryan, about that halfway point. What were some of your big takeaways just from today as a whole?
Football is around the corner, first off. It will be here before we know it. But really, defense looking stout as they have been through the past 2 weeks. Offensive line, of course, still a work in progress. Saw some areas where they need to improve on a little bit in run protection and pass blocking, but Cav's going to have a front five set in probably by the end of next week, if I had to guess, in terms of, who will be that front five. And even talking to Coach Gunderson today, it's like, sure, you may have that front five guys along the offensive line, but they may not be that same grouping when we get later on into the season. But really kind of outside of that, I would say those were kind of the big two things I was really kind of taken away from today. It's just, the defense winning the day, of course. I mean, this is kind of to be expected. And then also, too, offensive line is slowly but surely improving. Progress isn't linear, but, there are some inklings and some moments where they flash, but just consistency is the big name of the game. That's really it that, I would have to say in terms of, if there's an area of improvement, it's basically consistency and playing fast and not second-guessing what they're doing. So that's really what I would kind of say from my kind of initial impressions from today.
Yeah, as far just kind of echoing off what Ryan said, I'd say, it was a little closer than I would have expected. If you asked me in the first 30 minutes of today's scrimmage, I would have said the defense won going away. The offense kind of fought back a little bit and had a little bit of fight towards the end of practice. You definitely like to see that. But as Ryan mentioned, we'll kind of dive into the nitty-gritty of what we saw in our practice report, BeaversEdge.com. And along with the offensive line, we just wrote a story at Beavers Edge, kind of diving into how Coach Cav has talked about how it's a work in progress. And it's going to be, but that he wants to have five set a week from today, Ryan.
Yep, exactly. And yeah, even though, too, from what I had said about the defense, it's, you want to see that as well from this offensive unit as well, too. I mean, even Gundy said as well, it was really just finishing drives kind of early that kind of led to their slow start. And then once they kind of had it figured out a little bit towards the very end of practice, you started to see a bit more of a back and forth and kind of, I would say, one side entirely dominating the entire scrimmage. But if I had to give it to a grouping, I would say I'd give it to the defense overall, just where they're at. Light years kind of ahead of where they were in spring, and having some guys really stand out today like Kai Wallen, Mason White, who we talked to as well, Kobe Singleton, too, making some plays as well. And then really just that entire secondary is so deep as well. There is definitely going to be moments where, you're going to have, probably Tyrese Ivey, Skylar Thomas, and Jaheim Patterson all on the field together at the same time, too, and Cy as well at that nickel spot on top of that. So it's really going to be based off of matchup, really, if we're being honest here. It's there's no way that, you can't keep some of those guys off the field and with no playing time, too. So definitely, a group that I would say there's no real shortage of bodies there at all. The depth and talent is way better than it was around this time last year. And then especially along that defensive line unit, we know what Nico Taylor brings. Kai Wallen has been having a strong performance here in camp. Walker Harris as well too, another as well. So very much a group that I would say Bray has definitely flipped the switch on this group big time.
Certainly. And, offensively, I'd throw out, some standout performances from the running backs today, too. Ryan mentioned Mason White. He had a big interception. We'll be diving into that in our practice report as well. And, again, Ryan will be focusing today on today's practice report. I'll take a look at some takeaways from today's scrimmage as well. But, Ryan, kind of the big thing now as we kind of approach the third week of camp, Bray said himself afterwards, we're going to see their depth chart, quote, shuffled a little bit more, and we're going to see some, this next week, I think, is crucial for setting that depth chart, and I think we're going to really see which Beavers rise to the top.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think this week is the week where if you are an Oregon State fan, this is the week to really pay attention to the most.
Hear that practice reports from this guy and up in here, for sure. It.
But that's definitely something there where this will kind of tell you exactly who's going to be out there, that first team offense and defense, and also special teams too. Week one against Cal, and really for some of these guys that have had strong performances, it's an opportunity for them to build upon a strong 2 weeks so far through fall camp. Guys like Eddie Freehoff, for example, who has been really standing out this past week, and especially today too. too. Had a couple highlight catches, including a touchdown today as well. So that's something there where those guys are definitely guys that I would say that you need to see their rise and see how they kind of go in this next week, where those position battles, especially that third wide receiver spot, still wide open at this point as well too. I know Taz has flashed at times there, but with guys like Eddie making the rise that he has had so far, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see that come down to the wire.
It's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on this next week, and make sure to stay locked into BeaversEdge.com all week, as we'll be at Oregon State's practices all week and getting you ready for the next scrimmage next Saturday. And of course, stay locked into Beavers Edge, as Ryan will have his practice report from today. I'll have some takeaways. And again, if you haven't joined BeaversEdge.com, we got an amazing deal right now where you can join $1 for your first week, and then you also get an awesome subscription to The Athletic as well. So definitely make sure to check that out. For Ryan Harlan, this is Brenden signing off from Reser Stadium. Make sure to stay locked to BeaversEdge.com.